Hi everyone, this is Joy with Create It with Joy. Today's video is part of 31 days of Halloween Spooktacular video hop. I could not be more excited. The card that I made for this video hop is a light up card using Lawn Fawn's Build a House Halloween add-on. So I made this spooky little graveyard that lights up and glows green. Let's get started. So here is the cute house from Lawn Fawn's Build a House Halloween add-on. And I die cut everything off camera. It just so much faster, so much easier. So I used Lawn Fawn's Storm Cloud and Black Licorice cardstock to put this house together. This whole card, I really wanted it to have a spooky feel to it. So I kept it with the grays, grayish browns, that kind of a color. So here's all these cute pieces. You get some ghosts, you get a spider web, the little smokestack, you get wood pieces for a window to look like it's boarded up, which I ended up not using. I had changed my mind. So I cut out the house. I cut out a hole for the window next to the door because I had something else in mind, and then I changed that. So I ended up not needing to cut this window out. But it's something that you definitely could do. I placed some vellum behind these windows because I thought I was going to have the house light up as well as the graveyard, but I did end up changing my mind. So I'm just going to glue those pieces in with some liquid glue, and then I will glue in the frames. The frames are die cut with the Black Licorice cardstock from Lawn Fawn. And again, the house is die cut from Storm Cloud from Lawn Fawn. So just adding a little bit of vellum to the back. You also could do clear acetate if you wanted, if you actually wanted to see the images behind, and that would be really cute as well. So I'm just inlaying the frames, the cute little black frames. And I think this house is so darling. What a great, fun die cut to have on hand. And then I'm going to glue on this bottom piece for the house. It's almost like, I don't know, the bottom, it's not a step. I don't even know what to call it, you guys, but really quite simple to glue everything together. Liquid glue works the best. I'm gluing on this cute door, and the door opens and closes. And so I'm going to put something in that a little bit later. I doubled up on the roof, or I tripled up, excuse me, on the roof for the bottom part of the house because I wanted that to stand out a little bit more than the roof from the top. I wanted it to give it a little bit more dimension. And then I also doubled up on the stairs, so that would have a tad bit more dimension. So the roof that I'm gluing down now, I did that one single piece. So here's that double piece that I am gonna glue down, and it just gives it, again, a little more 3D effect. Gluing on the doorknob, I was kind of playing around where I wanted the spider web. I'm using a tad bit of glue, and I die cut the spider web out of vellum. And then I'm going to add some white highlights to that a little bit later. And then the cute little spider that goes on top of this spider web. I really did keep the house fairly simple because I really wanted the background and the glow in the dark to stand out. So I die cut some Simon Says stamp masking paper for the moon. I really wanted to have a good size moon. And I'm going to ink up this background. I am using Distress Oxide inks in Hickory Smoke and Black Soot. So this is Hickory Smoke. And I'm using a cloud stencil from My Favorite Things. And I'm not going super heavy, but I'm not going really light with it. So I really wanted, again, to have this gray kind of look to this whole card. So it has a little bit more spooky kind of a feel. So just making the clouds go all the way across. I went down a little bit further than I needed to, but it's no big deal. And then when I peel back the moon, it'll be really, really awesome. But before I do that, I'm going to take a little bit of black soot and go around the edges to make it a little bit darker, a little bit more of that spooky look. So it looks like a really creepy, cloudy nighttime sky. Again, I'm not going super heavy-handed, but dark enough that it feels nighttime. And then you've got this nice, great spot for the moon. So for the moon, I'm actually going to use Antique Linen in Distress Oxide inks. And I'm just laying down a nice layer, and it actually ended up being a really soft moon, and it worked out perfect for this color combination. Then I'm going to take the stencil and I'm going to line it back up exactly where the clouds were before. And now I'm going to go very lightly over the moon with that same hickory smoke ink. Super light. I don't want that to be really heavy over the moon. And you could do one cloud or you could do multiple clouds, however you want to do it. Then I'm going to go back over it a little bit more with that antique linen just to soften those clouds a little bit. And then you've got this really awesome gray spooky sky. I am taking Spectrum Noir's sparkle pen, and only the clouds that are on the moon I'm adding a little bit of sparkle to. And I really do like how that turned out. It gave a little more focus to the moon because the clouds are kind of, I kind of want those to be behind the scenes. So now I'm cutting out a hill. You can cut it out of any die cut. I use the palm tree border, and I'm using hickory smoke on this as well. A little bit lighter. I'm going to go all the way over, and then I want it to be lighter in the center, so I will go around the edges with the black soot distressed oxide ink. So just layering ink, super simple, nothing tricky here. But again, just to keep it in that feel of kind of dark and spooky. I didn't want a whole, really hardly any color on here. The color is going to come from the moon and the pumpkins, but those are very dulled down, as you'll see when we get this card finished. So I'm coloring these images with Copic markers. I've got the colors up on the screen, and I'm just coloring some of these images from Lawn Fawn's Tiny Halloween and Spooky Village. So something that I wanted to say is with this card hop, please comment on every video. If you comment on every single video for the 31 videos, you will be entered into a drawing for some prizes at the end of this cute video hop. So don't forget to comment because that will be checked. Also, I will have a link in the description below for Hook, Line, and Inker. She's the one who put this great video hop together, and you go to her, click on the link to go to her blog, and she will have the next day's video for you to watch. So I'm coloring in, and I'm using cool markers and warm gray markers. The cool gray markers for the tombstones and the warm grays for the trees. I'm using YR27 for the pumpkins, and then I'm going back over it with a warm gray marker because I want to tone down the orange. I still wanted these pumpkins to be on the orange side, but a really kind of grungy orange is what I want it to be because that still fits into this dark, spooky gray kind of feel to this card. So toning that down, adding this kind of brownish gray. So I'm not going to show all of the coloring because it's all kind of the same. I just wanted to show you a few things. So as you can see, those pumpkins have definitely toned down on the orange. And the YR27 was a good color to start off with because it wasn't this super bright orange to begin with. So then I'll die cut those out and we will put them together. So now this card is going to be a light up card, and I am just making a mark on my card behind where the door is going to be, and that's where we're going to be putting the battery. I'm going to be cutting a little paper, I don't even know, it's not a sleeve, it's a little folder for this battery. That way when you press it down and you've got your copper tape, it will connect and turn the lights on. So I'm putting it inside there. I'm going to mark the positive on the outside and the negative on the inside, and that's how you want to line up the battery. So I'm going to glue this down to where that would be behind the door, behind my house. Now I'm going to have my son Johnny, he's helped me before on a card, and he is going to be laying this out because this is one of his favorite things to do. So he's starting with the negative part of this where the battery is going to go. And he's going to lay down the copper tape. You fold it back towards yourself and then turn in the direction that you want it to go, if that makes sense. He's going to lay it down, and that's for the negative, and he's going to do the same thing for the positive. Burnish this down really good, and that way we can line up the lights. We're going to use green lights for this green glowing, oh my gosh, cemetery. My brain just totally forgot what I was talking about. So he put the tape on the inside of that little flap so it will touch the top of the battery. So he's folding it back, turning, folding it back and turning, and he's getting it close to the other copper tape, but see, there's leaving a space there, and that's for your lights to touch top and bottom, negative and positive. So we're going to put 2 lights behind. Again, he's burnishing it down so you get a nice, good, flat connection, and see how it's on the inside of that flap. So now he's going to adhere down the 2 lights. We made like a little bit of mark where we know we wanted the lights to be, so it wasn't hiding behind the house, but super simple to do. This is an easy layout for a light up. One mistake I did make was I had that copper tape up too high. I should have, oh, look how cute that is. It's glowing. I should have had it a little bit lower because my hill barely covered it, but I solved that. So now you want to lay down foam tape. You will need 3 layers high of foam tape. That way it gives you enough room so that the battery is not pressed down all the time. You also want to encase where the battery is so the battery does not slide out. So I am putting the tape close to the battery all the way around. That way it can't slide out of the card. So again, 3 layers all the way around. That way you have room to push down the battery and it lights up. If you guys have never tried a light up card, you definitely need to. It really is super easy once you get the concept. So I'm going to pull back all of that release paper and I'm going to adhere down that gray hill that we inked up. And then you'll see when we push it, it lights up. So now I'm going to adhere the house down. It needs a little bit of foam tape at the top because, well, it needs 3 layers of foam tape at the top because it's going to be sitting on the hill that is 3 layers high. So I'm going to glue that down. I forgot I needed to glue down the Spooky Fence from Lawn Fawn, Spooky Fence die cut. I cut that out of black licorice cardstock. Even the gray would be really cute too. Using just a little bit of liquid glue from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm just going to adhere that down. And then I can glue on the haunted house. So you can see a little bit of that copper tape there. When I put all my cute little embellishments and things, you won't even see it, but that's where I made the mistake. It should have been lower. So now when I push the door, the cemetery lights up. So it's perfect. So it's like you close the door into the haunted house and then, oh, the cemetery comes to life. It's super cute. So I have glued the tombstones and a tree together. And then I put that on 2 layers of foam tape. I did not want it to be on 3. I wanted it to kind of be tucked behind the hill so it looks like it's further back on the hill. So 2 layers of foam tape for the cemetery parts. This second tree, I'm gluing straight to the back, so that gave it further dimension. I also cut apart another little tombstone thing, and I am going to glue that behind one of the other trees, and you can't even, it's tucked in there so you can't even see that it was cut apart, but it's perfect. Turned out really cute. That die cut ghost that I cut out using vellum, I am gluing that to the back of a tombstone so it looks like he's flying out of the tombstone. I'm going to take these cute pumpkins and glue them to the front. So I liked this little house has the pumpkin patch in front, and they're kind of spooky pumpkins because they're not super bright, and then the creepy cemetery behind the house. I decided I needed more tombstones, so I did decide to color another set of tombstones and another tree because I needed a few more things to add to this house. So here's the other tree. I'm just going to glue that straight to the back, not popped up on foam tape. So you have all this dimension. Glue this tombstone right there onto the hill. But doesn't this card already have this little crazy spooky little feel? It's so fun. Now I've got the little jack-o'-lanterns colored the same. I'm going to glue those all over the porch. I couldn't decide where I wanted that third one, but I liked it in 3s, so I figured it out. Going back and forth 12,000 times. I'm sure you guys do the same thing. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp the word boo by this ghost onto the background, and I was sweating a little because I didn't want to mess up after I made this wonderful card. And then inside the door, I am stamping the little eyeballs, and I think it's from Lawn Fawn's Tiny Halloween. And I'm stamping that in the Hickory Smoke ink. I didn't want anything to be super bright. Again, I just wanted to keep it in this color scheme, but I liked the little eyes. I also stamped Push Me on the outside of the door with the Hickory Smoke, and that is using, Lawn Fawn's Push Here stamp set. Now I'm going to attach this to an A2 sized card base with Scor tape because I really want a strong hold, because this is a little heavier card with the light up stuff and how much foam tape, and so I don't want it falling off. I also stamped some black bats from Lawn Fawn's Tiny Halloween. I stamped those, or it could have been from Lawn Fawn's Spooky Village. They have little bats in both of those sets. Adding a few white pin details, a little bit to the fence, a few spots to the house. I did not want it to be super heavy, a little bit to the pumpkins, and really that was it. I did also add some to the spider web. That helped to bring it to life on that, on the spider web. Black glaze pin for that cute little spider. It made him nice and shiny, so he will stand out a little bit more. But again, I wanted to keep those kind of details just really light. A few on the tombstones, and that's it. But I hope that you guys really liked how this card turned out, because I love it. I did some of that Spectrum Noir sparkle pin on the ghost because I wanted him to be a little bit glittery so he would stand out a little bit more. But I feel like this is a great full scene, and it tells this really awesome spooky kind of story. But look at this. It's so fun. I had so much fun making this background and this light up card. I really hope that you guys enjoy it. I hope that you have enjoyed so far this Spooktacular video hop. Don't forget to comment. Look at that cool light up green cemetery. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Please don't forget to comment on everybody's video. Go to the link that I have below to look for tomorrow's video. I hope you enjoy it. Have a wonderful Halloween. Thank you for always being so supportive. I do have some affiliate links below. It costs you nothing, but it does continue to help me do this. See you soon. Bye.